So do you see the holes?
What
here?
are those?
Your frontal lobes are sleepy.
Oh my God.
So this is the break in your brain. This is the part of your brain that goes, should you say this? Should you do this? So most significant findings, decrease frontal lobe and your temporal lobe. Make those better, decreasing your cerebellum. Scalloping, that's the bumpiness, so that's the toxicity. And then the anxiety centers. Problems staying and falling asleep?
Especially since my mom passed away. That when nighttime is the right time for the demons to come crawling lately, it's almost, I would say, 5 or 6 nights out of the week when I'm like just about to fall asleep, then these little creatures come crawling like, hey, you don't have a dad, you don't have a mom, who's gonna take care of you? What are you gonna do with the house? Who's gonna love you? Like all these thoughts start firing and it's pure anxiety. And I have never experienced this in my life, even when my dad was sick and I was going through that year of his diagnosis of, he was kind of diagnosed with vascular dementia. So maybe this is just accumulative from that because my mom is gone. Maybe there's some sort of leftover grief from my father. So it was only a couple years ago. So
whenever we grieve, it's not just the event.
Right.
It's all the events that came. And sometimes the grief isn't even ours. If you think of Native American teenagers commit suicide 10 times the rate of other American teenagers. It's generational grief.
Oof. So like ancestral trauma is a real thing.
It's a very real thing. So when your mind bothers you, do you know how to manage it?
Maybe I think I do. I do exercise. I will say this, when I was home at my sister's after my mom passed away, I exercised almost every single day. And it's a concerted effort, but I do it. But as far as like proper anxiety management, I don't think I've been doing the right things, nor do I know if I have the proper tools to even use.
So when you feel sad or mad or nervous or out of control, I want you to start writing down what you think.
Okay.
And it'll be great for routines, I promise you.
You're 100% right about that.
But then I'm going to give you a method before you go of challenging the negative thoughts, of getting rid of them.
Okay.
If you block them, if you smoke pot to get rid of them or drink to numb them, they just come back.
Right.
When you write them down and then you take them through this super simple process, basically 5 questions, they go away. When you actually go into the pain dissipates. When you numb the pain, you expand.
Right.
Yeah.
That makes complete sense.
And so the worst thought, no one will ever love you. Is that true?
No, I'm so affable. I just don't always think that. But you're right, it's not true.
I'm not a fan of positive thinking. I'm a fan of accurate thinking.
I love that.
Does this help?
Yeah, immensely. It's overwhelming, but it's also, it's encouraging. Now I feel like I have an understanding of why I am the way I am. And it's also like, it's validating.
But that's really important. It's that shift. Not that there's something wrong with it.
Right.
But there's something that can be better.
Right.
And so it's about optimization, right? I hate the term mental illness. It's bad.
You mentioned that on the pod.
It's just a bad term. It's brain health.
Right.
Get your brain right, and your life is better. So when I think of people, I always think of them in 4 big circles. I never go, oh, you have ADD, take Adderall. It's way more complicated than that. So I want to get your brain healthy, your mind healthy, your relationships healthy, and spiritual is just, so what's your sense of purpose, meaning and purpose? And so with your brain, to keep it healthy or rescue it if it's headed to the dark place. I mean, we're going to be on an Alzheimer's prevention program.
Wow.
I'm going to recommend that for you.
That's jarring to hear, but it's encouraging. But yes, okay.
Think of it. If we started it when you were 60, our chances of being successful are a lot less than if we started when you're 38.
Right. This is just like a Roth IRA, but for my brain.
So to keep your brain healthy, if you're game, I'll order a whole bunch of labs on you.
I would love that.
And we'll see how healthy your body is.
That would be amazing.
Okay. I'm gonna give you these supplements.
Okay.
If I give you a recipe for a shake in the morning, will you make it?
100%.
Start the day with it?
Yep.
So we make something called Bright Minds powder. With that, we're gonna add smart mushrooms. So neurogreens, it's actually more than greens. It's reds and blues and oranges and yellows. And our chocolate protein powder. It's awesome.
That sounds
delicious. This is what
delicious.
I make in my shake every morning.
I'm game.
And then we give you something called Focus and Energy. And to help you focus.
Okay.
It's not Adderall. Not opposed to Adderall.
Wow.
It's not the first thing I think about.
Good.
So let's try it naturally. I mean, if you end up needing Adderall, it's a thing. It's not good or bad. It's bad to have untreated ADD.
Right.
Having untreated ADD is associated with all sorts of bad things.
Right.
So this guy's got a worse brain than yours. He's a mixed martial artist, and he was in trouble. I did a lecture at the clinic. He's like, you're not going to like what I do. I'm like, what's that? And he told me. He was a fighter. Not good for your brain. And so I said, hey, want to do an experiment? So I put him on what I'm going to give you.
Oh, great. Am I going to become like a black belt?
The next day, that's his scan. Now, it didn't, you got to keep taking it to fix it. But do you see the difference?
Yes. That's the stuff that seeing gets me motivated to continue on.
We can do this.
We can't. We are.
We are. Take the dragon quiz, knowyourdragons.com, and send me your dragons.
Okay.
And for the toxins, the hardest thing is to avoid them. Right? If I'm trying to get your brain better and you're poisoning it, we're not working together.
I know. Is this our first fight? I am not going to lie, that's going to be my toughest hurdle and obstacle in this entire program will be avoiding wine and weed. I am just being completely, wholeheartedly honest. It will be a complete exercise of restraint for me. So I like challenges. That will be a huge challenge. Everything else I feel like gung-ho. Let's do it. And then I see the toxins and I'm like, foot on the, tapping the brake, tippy tapping. We're in bumper to bumper traffic here, Doc, and I don't see a way getting out of this traffic.
When's the last time you went a month without alcohol or marijuana?
I got into marijuana in my late 30s. Never smoked as a teenager, really.
So you
I've
spent
never
most
done any
of your
drugs.
life without it.
Yeah, I would say the past 7 years, give or take. Okay. I've been a very light user, light consumer. I don't smoke to get high. I smoke to feel right, and I'm not defending it. I'm only.
So I can help you feel right.
I tell my weed
by
dealer
not
that.
believing everything you think, by breathing.
Mm-hmm. I believe
by
that.
getting the nutrients your brain needs.
I believe that. Is there a place maybe in the future where both can exist in the same house? Should I let myself out?
It just depends on how much you love yourself. It's your brain.
Mm-hmm.
And then we'll talk in a couple of weeks. We'll do this. And then what I really would love, and this will help you so much if you do it, every Friday, write me an email and go, this is how I'm doing.
Okay.
And just keep it really simple. Like I like for you to rate mood, anxiety, focus. Scale 1 to 10, 1 is bad, 10 is good. And then as we go along, we'll see if we can get everything at 7 or 8.
Okay.
Right? I mean, nobody's perfect, but you can be so much better.
It can be so much better.
And that's the goal.
Yeah.
You're awesome.
To be more awesome.
To be more awesome. This is an Alzheimer's prevention program. If 6 months from now, if you do what I ask you to do, 6 months from now, we'll do this again. We'll see.
I'm game. I'm 100. I'm in like Flynn, baby.